It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? My neighbor.
Salutations! Today we are going to discuss living in peace with your neighbors. And to do that, I'm going to tell you a little story about a man named Isaac. But before that, let me tell you where he comes from. He comes from a man named Abraham. Have you ever heard of him? Sometimes we call him Father Abraham.
Father Abraham had many sons. Many sons had Father Abraham.
As you can tell from the song, Abraham was blessed by God and had many descendants. And the first of which was his son named Isaac. But he didn't have his own child until he was in his 90s. Can you imagine having a child in your 90s? That's terribly old. What a geezer! But it is Abraham's son Isaac that we will be focusing on for the story today. You see, as Isaac was becoming a grown man, in the land where he was living there was a great famine. So he thought that he may go to Egypt to find better opportunity. But God instructed him to go to the land of the Philistines, in where he said, "Go, where you will be a stranger there."
What? A stranger? You serious?
"But I will be with you."
Okay, I can do that.
Isaac was perplexed by God's request, but he went anyway. He listened to God's call, and sure enough, he began to be blessed. At first, he was very afraid, but in the first year that he sowed seeds into the field, he reaped 100-fold. He became very rich and gained many flocks and herds. So much so that the Philistines began to be jealous of him and all that he had.
Get a load of this guy, huh? I hate that he has so much. I get to do with 500 sheep, huh? I know! I can barely keep up with one!
So the king of the land said,
You have become quite too powerful. You must leave this place. Go on, run along now.
and so Isaac departed the city and went to the nearby valley. He began to dig wells where his father Abraham had dug wells that had been covered by the Philistines.
Nah, a little deeper.
They began to argue with him and said, "Those are our wells." And he said,
These wells? Fine, take them.
and he began to dig new wells instead. So they went to a new area called Beersheba, and they dug a well. And there was more water in this well than ever before. So they pitched their tents, and they built an altar for God. Isaac continued to feel the hand of God over him, and he prospered in whatever he did. So much so that the king of this land became afraid of him. He was afraid that Isaac would become too powerful and that he would overtake the Philistines. So he sent his general to Isaac.
General, he is still too strong. I want you to go and give him a talking to make sure we are still cool. A talking to, eh, Your Highness? I get what you're saying. Oh, in actual talk. Okay, I can do that too.
And when Isaac saw the general, he said,
You sent me away from you before. Why have you come before me now? Hey, guy. We can see that you're blessed by God and we don't want you to overtake us. So we'd like to make a covenant with you. We didn't have any beef with you when we sent you away, and, well, we certainly hope that you don't have any beef with us. And from one mustache man to another, we hope that we can live together in peace.
Isaac accepted this from the general, and they celebrated the peace that would be between them.
Put her there.
You see, sometimes people may give us a reason to perhaps hate someone. Maybe they tell us to go away, or to tell them to not eat lunch with us anymore, or to never show their face around them again. But it is important that even though these things may happen to us sometimes, that we are not bitter, and that we embrace our neighbors. So while you are in the neighborhood today, perhaps you can think of some ways to better accept the neighbors around you. Or perhaps the neighbors outside of these walls. It may take some practice, but I think you can do it. I'll see you tomorrow. Mayor Neighbor, out.